Simwemba. Roger Simwemba is one of the councillors, the 6 that resigned in the last few days out of Lufanyama, enticed by cabinet ministers and provincial ministers in the PF. And the information that we have is that Mr. Joseph Malanji, MP for Nkana, Mr. Bowman Lusambo, Minister of Lusaka, and we have also already named people like Mr. Sipuki Mulemwa, who is the right-hand person for Mrs. Inonge Winner. I think time has now come for us to name them one by one, and we know we have now proof arising from the issue of our councillors reflecting upon what they've done to the country. As you may want to be reminded, it is not long ago, our memories are still extremely fresh, coming from Kaoma election, which was induced by PF, that saw the death of Lawrence Banda. I'm so grateful to the young councillor who has come to a realization that nowadays there are no more elections. Even what PF are soliciting for are not elections. They want to use force to make an impression. You know very well that Lawrence Banda was killed unnecessarily by PF, and you all know as a country that not a single person has been called to answer to the death of Lawrence Banda, which means they are enjoying it. And for now, I would like to thank and call upon Councillor Simwemba, who yesterday did actually rescind his decision, and I would like the country to hear his voice, to speak out. And as he comes, I would like to make a warning to PF that as Councillor Simwemba makes this particular decision, whatever, and I want to emphasize, no phone call, no threat, whatever threat or intimidation will not be tolerated by ourselves, because enough is enough. He's got the freedom of conscience, he's got the freedom of association, he has reflected upon the error that he made to resign from service. Do not forget, the people who go to entice these councillors are just a handful against the goodwill of the people who voted for them in 2016 to go into the chamber. That is something that we should all be mindful about, that the selfish interest of people dangling stolen money to poor councillors, their holiday is now coming to an end. So I want to sound this, that any threat that will come to our councillor by way of even a telephone, whatever you gave him is now his property. And there will be no claiming nothing. And I'm now urging the other councillors countrywide that it's not worth it, what PF are doing to you. It is simply not worth it. You lose your dignity on account of little pennies. You must remember the story of Judas Iscariot. It didn't last. The little pennies that he got, 30 pieces of silver to betray. UPND, whether people like it or they do not like it, it has become the party of choice, and no fake impression is going to dawn on the Zambian people to imagine that PF has suddenly resurrected from its ashes. As far as we are concerned, PF has caused misery in this country. Everything that has happened, PF is the causer. Everything that is negative, PF is the causer. And so I'm now calling upon President Lungu, Mrs. Winner, and all of you cabinet ministers that you can fool people sometimes, but you cannot fool people all the time. And your hour of reckoning has now arrived. Go ahead, buy them if you so wish. And I'm appealing to those councillors who cannot hold it. Get their money. Don't cover them, so that they know that now they're going to get a taste of their own medicine. At this point in time,